A production of kmmedia.pro. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. Our goal is simple: to explore evolving ideas one conversation at a time. So come on over into our world. I know you'll like it, because on today's show... And welcome, everybody. Do you believe that you are living the best life that you can? Are you looking and waking up every day with a smile on your face, knowing that today's going to be just awesome? Well, if you're not, and many of us don't, you need to be listening to today's show, because we have got a great guest who's going to help enlighten us about how to live our lives just a little bit better. His name is Jason Medlock. But before we go there, we got to go talk to Eric. And what the heck happened to my sunny weather?
Well, I told you last week that we were going to get back to our more fall-like weather this week, and sure enough, here we are with 63 degrees and cloudy skies. But it's October. What do you want?
You're a procrastinator. You're not a prognosticator. That's it. Prognosticator of whether you know what's coming. It's just amazing to me.
Well, I have to give a big shout out to the National Weather Service for doing that kind of work. I just, report their facts onto you.
Eric, this is a shtick that I've been doing for 20 years, and I really appreciate you sticking with it and not saying, "Would you knock that crap off?" I really appreciate that.
Well, you enjoy it so much, so
yeah, I do. Well, it's a great conversation starter, if you will. And, another great conversation starter is, and I just found out about this like 2 seconds ago. Our guest today, not only is he a mindset coach and he works with hypnosis and a bunch of other stuff, he was a sports agent for 10 years. And
he's done it all.
I guess so. And so we're going to talk to him about all of that and much, much, much more. So thank you, Eric, for having us on. By the way, if you want to listen to Positive Talk Radio, I highly encourage it. It's a great show. And we do a lot of uplifting things, and we have a lot of great people like our guest today. So if you tune in Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then Friday again, because we haven't had enough on Friday, so we do it twice. We do it on KKNW on Monday at 3, Wednesday at 4, and Friday at noon. And then the creme de la creme, we get to go to Kixie and do a show at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Kixie. It is just a marvelous experience for everybody that's around the show, and I hope that you'll enjoy it. And it's a great way to get a little positivity in your afternoon, especially when you're driving home after being in the corporate world for all day, and things just seem to be a little, you're dragging your butt just a touch. Then not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but in any event, this show will enlighten you and will give you some great opportunities to really reflect on yourself and to do great things. And I'd like to thank KKNW for allowing me to do this.
Well, on behalf of KKNW, we're happy to have you.
well, good. And so with that, let's go ahead and welcome Jason Medlock to the show. And he's got lots of interesting things to talk about. So Jason, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Hey there, Kevin. How you doing today?
I'm great. It's, it's 63. I'll bet you there are times when you're walking outside in Houston, Texas, that you're wishing it was 63 and nice and relaxed.
Well, absolutely. We went through, on an average, 103-degree weather for 2 months straight. Oh, so imagine having a day that it was 63. That would be awesome. But yeah, it's pretty hot down here. It's cooling off a little bit. It rained all last week, so we're starting to try to move into the fall. So we hope that we can continue to have some cooler weather.
Well, what's funny about that is that if it were 63 in Houston, Texas, you guys would all be wearing parkas and stocking caps.
Probably so.
Because it's like, what's happening with the weather? It's so cold. It's unbelievable. So, welcome to the show, Jason. We met just the other day, and we really had a great conversation, in which we are going to have again today, as well as the future times that you're going to be on the show, because you really are a dynamic guy, and I really appreciate having you here. So, welcome.
Well, thank you. I know, and I got a chance to know a little bit about you and just the depth of the caliber of guests that you've had on the show over the years. And we talked about, all the top, hypnotists and all the top mindset coaches and the people who are in spirituality. So you've been able to, rack up an impressive resume, and I'm excited to be able to share some of the things that I do and some of the things that I've researched and learned with your audience.
Well, I'm really glad that you're here, because in a lot of cases, and I said this at the very top, is that we would like to think that everybody's feeling good about themselves and is doing what they want to do and is really enjoying life, because that's really ultimately why we're here. And there are so many of us that don't do that, that are wrapped up in the stress and all of the things that go on, and it's nice to be able to talk to somebody that is in a position and has the ability to help people get through their own stuff and get to a place where they can live their lives to the best that they can possibly live it. And
And
so,
I call it the noise. I call it the outside world. And those are the things that we're accustomed to. Those are the things that we've grown up with and so immune to it. And we really don't understand that if we take just moments at a time to reflect with our inner self, we can find out a plethora of things about us and research and understand that there are things that we can do to change our lives in a lot of different ways. And we talked about that in great detail. So I'm looking forward to sharing some things.
what I'd like to do for today's show, if we can, is kind of go through consciousness 101 and developing yourself 101, because there are a lot of folks, when you start talking about consciousness and living their best lives, they don't even know how to begin, what to start with.
Yeah.
So you begin to tell us what to start with to live your life just a little bit better and to improve your consciousness.
And the thing about it is improving your consciousness is a multitude of things. Developing the understanding of how to meditate or pray, developing something or some sort of method like hypnosis that can bring your brainwave states down, bring down to a level of theta, say for instance, mindful thinking, which is being able to just look at things in your room, look at your arms, your hands, look at the curvatures of the TV, the smallest things, the steering wheel in your car, how it's shaped, how the car drives. That's called mindfulness. Those are some of the basic things that you start to realize every day that helps you expand your consciousness. And what is consciousness? And we talked about the scientific terms and all the big words that people use, but let's just break it down. Consciousness is awareness that you are here. Just the very thought of you being able to think about going to the grocery store, that you realize that you didn't have enough money to buy that can of milk, that you're able to walk down aisle 8 and look for the sugar. You're conscious of things. You're able to think. You're able to recognize and realize what's going on around you. That is your consciousness. But we expand our consciousness by using different techniques, by trying to figure out ways to get better in our life. For instance, let's just stick with meditation right now. You expand your awareness, you expand your consciousness just by meditating. And what meditation does, meditation brings you so much closer inside of yourself, closer with God, Buddha, the subconscious mind, the higher self, whatever you name it, because, a lot of people, a lot of different religions name it different things. It brings you closer to your inner power, your source. But once you're able to garner that type of connection, then you start to see and hear your higher being, the person that is in control of your life that you pray to every day. You'll start to hear messages. Another thing is People love to do yoga. Yoga relaxes the body and relaxes the mind, and it allows you to contemplate on different things in your life. Consciousness is jumbled up in a number of different steps and a number of different things that allow you to realize who you are and where you're going. Now, people try to increase their consciousness because, hey, I want to get a new job. Hey, I'm trying to make some money. I want to be able to open this new business that I've been wanting to open up for years. Well, then you can use different levels of consciousness. We can use techniques like manifesting. That is a different level of consciousness and a technique used to bring things into your life that you want. Law of attraction. We talked about The Secret. The Secret was a fantastic presentation of how to attract people or things in your life just by saying it over and over and over, using this energy to attract this frequency that we all have as humans to attract you to the person or to the thing that will help you gain whatever it is that you're looking for. So the law of attraction, using manifestation, those are two different techniques that I use and I help clients with, that they use in conjunction with mindset training, in conjunction with hypnosis. Visualization is another concept that helps you expand your consciousness. So I don't want to ramble on more, but that's sort of, when you talk about expanding your consciousness one-on-one, those are several techniques that I mentioned that start you off, that helps you enable yourself to take your thought process to the next level.
I'm going to even make it even more simple. Now, Jason, what I want you to do is you and I are going to look out at all the people that are listening to the show that are driving home from work or they're driving about doing stuff. And I want a show of hands from everybody out there. When you left your house this morning and you were on your way to work, did you take the time to stop, look at the sky, hear the birds, watch the wind, hear the wind go by, and just take in the beauty of where we are and what we have? I'm okay. Hold your hands up now. We're going to count. And Jason, I'm sorry to say that there are far fewer people raising their hands than I would hope.
And I know this, Kevin, and that's where, like I wrote this book, Empowered by Consciousness. That's where we have to realize that there are powers, there are gifts that we're given naturally from God. I mean, we have them. We just have to utilize them. There are people who are actually stuck. People that have a great Monday, a great Tuesday, and a great Wednesday. And Thursday, they're in their rooms crying with the door shut, with all the window blinds closed. Saturday, Sunday, the same thing. They've hit a bout of depression. We are so stuck in the everyday society. We do not recognize the things that are around us, the simple things, like you mentioned, the birds chirping, the sun coming up, the wind blowing. That's a part of mindfulness, being mindful. And I would say to the audience, if you woke up every morning and you start off with 5 minutes, spend time with yourself. It may be a prayer. It just may be sitting in the closet. It may be a 5-minute guided meditation that you found on YouTube, or just sitting there reflecting on what you have to do that day. 5 minutes of quiet time, and notice everything around you. And then from that, after you finish that, maybe you have 5 things that you've written on your mirror. I will be successful today. I will be the best manager in this department this year. Every time I speak in front of an audience, I'm never afraid. Just things to say that you want to accomplish, some sort of affirmation. If you say those 3 times a day for 3 weeks, we call that the 3-3-3 method. 3 times a day for 3 consecutive days, you'll start to see change. And that is a whole part of law of attraction and manifestation, saying things over and over in a repetitive type motion. You may say, okay, so what does that do? Well, it helps reprogram our subconscious mind. And the same concept goes for hypnosis. When you go see a hypnotherapist, we are trying to get you into a relaxed state. We're trying to move your brainwave state away from the rustle and bustle of the everyday life. And then we can get you into this relaxed, calm state. We start to give you subliminals, reprogramming messages of how great you can be. And we start to try to help you visualize being in a safe, being in a nice place. And once we start to get you to visualize and to trust and open up, then we start inserting narratives of success, narratives of positivity, narratives of repairing your marriage. And a subconscious mind, we create neural pathways, brand new neural pathways. The mind is constantly changing, and it's just like a piece of hardware, Kevin. We are actually inputting different programming into this hardware and reprogramming old thoughts, limited thinking with new thoughts and vast and positive thinking. So waking up every day, saying affirmations, having a small moment to yourself first, saying positive affirmations throughout the day, 3 times a day, sometimes 5 times a day, depending on what type of technique you're using, consistently. When you get home at night, a little quiet time to yourself, you'll start to realize you'll start to see things change in your life, all because you've taken the time to practice mindfulness, to practice the things that are within you, the quietness that you can garner from within yourself, and start to give yourself directives. It's almost like using self-hypnosis.
It's interesting that there are people that are interested in this, and I hope you're taking notes if you are, because our guest is Jason Medlock, and you go to jasonmedlock.com. You can find out all about him and his work and what he does. But Jason, when I was young, I worked in a factory, and in this factory, the work was repetitive. Everybody had a repetitive job, and that's what they did. There was one guy that was on the back of a double-edged saw, and all he did for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, was take a piece of wood and stack it. Take a piece of wood and stack it. Then there was another group of these guys that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they would play hearts at lunch. They would just do their job and go home. And then on every Thursday night, they would go out drinking heavily, and all of them together. And then they would come hungover on Friday morning and did some of the work. And then they would repeat the process. They never took the time to have a meaningful, mindful experience of what they were doing in their life. And so nothing ever changed. Does that happen a lot?
It does. And to that point, they never really noticed anything else because of the construct of what they were around. That was the narrative. That was the everyday for them. And once you have a person who is in that sort of a construct, that's what they're used to. It's almost like people who live in poverty. That's all they know. People who live in violence. That's all they know until one day, that particular person says, enough is enough. I'm ready to change. There's not a psychologist. There's not a mindset coach or hypnotherapist in the world that can change you until you self-realize that there's something not right and I want to change. The key word is wanting to and self-realizing. And when you can get a person like that who is stuck in a daily routine, habits. I mean, you can change habits with 10 or more hypnosis sessions. I mean, that's not hard to change. You can change post-traumatic syndrome in 10 or more hypnosis sessions. That's not hard to change. But what you cannot do is change what a person wants. And once a person wants it, once a person says, I am ready to change, then the transformation starts to work. Well, how do you do that, Jason? You have to help the client, the person, the friend self-realize. They have to want to see the issue and the repetitiveness in their life. And when they can see that, then that's when change can happen.
By the way, again, we're talking to Jason Medlock. And when we come back from this break, I want to ask you, if those 5 guys that did the same thing every day of the week for months and months and months, if one of them had decided to practice mindfulness and decided they were tired of it and wanted to make a change, would that affect anybody around them? We're going to tackle that when we come back from this break.
Do you need to boost your sales? Join our partnership program. Each quarter, we promote 10 partner businesses. What will you get? The company will produce one 30-second video for your business. Your website links on positivetalkradio.net and kmmedia.pro. One dedicated podcast or radio show per month. One video Instagram reel. One YouTube short. One 60-second clip for social media taken from your interview, and at least one commercial airplay per show. All podcast and video commercials are within the fabric of the show and will remain in the show forever. Visit kmmedia.pro to book a consultation today.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal.
For being our appreciated listener, you can use promo code PTR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your order.
anaturaldesign.com at your fingertips today.
We believe in the power of telling your stories. We want to help yours be seen and heard. At the Pacific Northwest Collaborative Magazine, our purpose is to connect you to your community. Let's begin by celebrating the accomplishments of local artists featured in this brand new digital magazine. Here, you can learn about opportunities to creatively come together and support our local community and neighbors through the gift of art and service. If your business or organization would like to take part in this magazine, message us on Instagram at pnw.collab. You can download our free digital magazine at KM Media Pro today.
Thank you to our dedicated fans. We are updating our live on-air schedule to make it super easy for you to hang out with us 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and live on Fridays with Kixie 8:80 a.m. Seattle Live. You can find our library to binge all the podcast platforms. We can't wait to see you at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, starting September 4th, Labor Day 2023.
And welcome back, everybody, to Positive Talk Radio. We have got a rare and wonderful guest with us today. His name is Jason Medlock, and we're talking about mindfulness and meditation. And I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people don't feel they have any power.
Yes.
They don't have the power to change. They don't have the power to affect other people. But I want you to tell us, if somebody makes a conscious decision to change, how will that affect people around them?
Well, it's just like the group you hang with, the kids in the neighborhood who go to class and they sit at the front. If that's your crowd, then that's who you are. Just like when you're from age 0 to 7 years old, the subconscious mind is narrating your entire life. Once you turn 8 years old, the conscious mind starts to lead your life from then on. And whatever environment you're around, that's what the conscious mind adapts to. In this particular case, if you have a person in the group and we've been doing all these things for all these years, we're on the same routine, we go get a beer on Thursday, Friday, we're at some joint. Saturday, we're always playing cards and poker. If one person in the group changes, the construct has changed. Now, it depends on, what level, of friends or what level of respect they have for this particular person that's around them. Typically, some people who don't want change, who like it the way it is, they'll shun that. And then this other person will grow ahead or away from that particular group. In most cases, if a person in the group starts to change and starts to elevate themselves, then it's contagious with the other people that are in that particular group. and then they start to see success just by being attached to the actual situation. So I believe if a person, 3-person group, 2-person group, you have one person who starts to elevate themselves, who seems like they're moving in a certain direction. It depends sometimes, but most of the time, the person that is the friend or the cousin or the relative, they start to elevate themselves as well. It's always, it only takes one person to find that there's another path. There's another path for me. This is the direction I'm going in, to infect others. So that's my belief in that.
So if you are somebody that is beginning to feel like your life needs change, that you don't remember that you're not sure why you're here, but you want to find out why. And so you begin to go down these, you begin to meditate more, you begin to be more mindful, you begin to do these things, and other people are saying to you, why are you this way? You didn't used to be this way. I just as soon you go back to being the way you were. Don't do that. You feel good because you're meditating, because you're feeling more relaxed. Your stress has gone down. Work is going better. Your home life is going better. Your relationships are working. Don't back off from that. Continue going forward. And some people will decide that you no longer resonate with them. That's okay, because that opens the door. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but that opens the door for new people to come in that are vibrating at a higher level that can take you with them to become who you really are. Am I just preaching, or is that a fact?
That's a fact. When we talked about frequency, when we had our conversation, and you mentioned vibrating at another level, vibration is all about what attracts you. And when you begin to vibrate higher than the person in your group, then you're moving to a different level. There will be different people that vibrate at that same level. And the people that are in your group, if they're wanting to make that change, hey, they'll follow. Sometimes, they'll look at you crazy, like, well, what are you doing? I've had that happen to me. I've seen a number of friends fall off. That's okay. I still love them, but I was moving at a different vibration. I was moving at a different frequency. And people may say, well, what does that mean? That means that you're elevating. Your consciousness is growing. Your mindset is growing because you realize, all right, there's something else. There's an opportunity for me to gain more out of the life I'm living right now. And you want people to reach these plateaus in their life, because there are so many different neat tricks out here that aren't mainstream, but there are so many neat things out here that you can do to really, really gain an advantage. So, once you start to vibrate, once you start to raise your frequency, just like in the law of attraction, I keep talking about the movie The Secret. And the more that you become more mindful and start to make these incremental changes in your life, other people will come to you from just nowhere. And you're like, how did I meet this person? This is the director of electronics for this particular electronic manufacturer I work for. How did I meet him? I've been working here for years. You started to vibrate. You started to change your frequency, and it puts you directly in that particular person's path. And it's happened before, and it'll continue to happen as long as people know that we are energy. We're made of energy. And when you raise your vibration, well, what does that mean? How do you do that? That means positive thinking, positive conversation, even saying positive words. There's a book out, Doreen Virtue. It's called Angel Words by Doreen Virtue. And the very words in the book, Doreen was recording, she was doing an audio book. And her son was on the audio, and she was recording this narrative in her new book. But her son kept noticing when she was using certain words like love and healing love and light, that the meters would jump higher when she was saying those type of words. And it was happening over and over and over. And when she was using words like but and I don't know and maybe the vibration and the frequency of the meter, the audio meter, was not moving as high. And they kept saying, what's going on? So that birthed the book called Angel Words, which focused on high vibratory words. Now we can use high vibratory words in our everyday vocabulary that will help raise your vibration. I have the book. It's an outstanding book, and I live by that. I speak highly. I never hope. I never wish. I always command it. I always act as if things are already happening for me. So that's a very very good tip right there for your audience.
Well, I think that, by the way, give us the name of your book real quick.
Empowered by Consciousness. The book is out today. The release is the book launch is tomorrow, but I have it right here with me. Empowered by I'm always ready, Kevin. Empowered by Consciousness. You can find it at Amazon. It's a deep dive into all the different spiritual modalities, and also my spiritual journey and how I learned each one of them, and I connected it to just my everyday life. It has nothing to do with religion. It doesn't offend anybody. I have to do that disclaimer because I have people that call me and say, "Hey, Jesus is not in the book." Well, it's not a religious book. It's just a book about different techniques that can help you raise your awareness and give you information about different things like psychedelics and how psychedelics can help with PTSD, can help with stress, and different things like meditation, the third eye chakra. People don't realize that we have a third eye chakra that's in the middle of our temple, and that when that's activated, it helps you, see clearly. You can receive instructions on the way to live your life in your meditations and your dreams to be even more vivid. Some people's third eye chakra is open already, and they just have no idea what it is. It's fabulous things that the human body, all the different things we're equipped with, we just don't know. So I did a lot of research. I looked at a lot of scientific information, and I tried these modalities myself. And then I gave an understanding of, hey, this is what it did for me. This is what it possibly can do for you.
I think one of the things that that we need to figure out, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but is that when we use the term spirituality,
Yes.
sometimes people get kind of weirded out by, oh, what are you talking about here? And you're talking about mediums and witches, and then no, it is a basic scientific concept that we are all energy.
Yes.
And then how we flow with that energy is how we react to the world around us. And the higher that we vibrate, the world around us changes to some degree and allows us to do things that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So it's not so much a woo-woo concept as it is a scientifically based, this is how it actually works kind of deal. So I don't know how do we get that across without people saying you're the woo-woo kind of dudes and stuff.
Absolutely. It's a scientific based kind of deal, and it's more on vibration. It's more on what the human body can do, the connection you have with energy, and it's an expansion of what the religions are. It's just more of a how you explain what's happening. Like if you're praying and God spoke to you, of course he spoke to you. No one ever said he didn't. And I believe God speaks to you, but there's an explanation. And we talked about this. We have crystals in our brain, microscopic crystals, and we have crystals in televisions. We have crystals in radio. And while the crystals are in the television and radio, they're there to hold the frequency so that you can hear the radio play. The crystals in the television, they hold the frequency so that the picture can come through the screen. And there are other components to that, but mainly the crystals help hold the frequency. So then why do we have, and this is scientific, this is scientific reviewed. Why do we have microscopic crystals in our brain? Because if there's a frequency coming in, And God or Buddha or whoever is speaking to you, you're able to hold that frequency in here. And this is not trying to narrate what exactly you should experience in your religion. Nowhere, no way, form, or fashion. But we're just talking about concepts on how. I know that I hear God talking to me, but how? And those are some of the concepts in spirituality that are harmless to your belief or whatever, however you grow up. These are only different explanations on, hey, listen, we've been blessed from our Lord, our Savior, Jesus Christ, God, whoever. You've been blessed with a set of tools, and you're actually able to use them and harvest them just by opening up a book and doing some research. And that's what I did. And this is just not me. And Kevin, you know this has been out here for centuries.
Wow, you bet.
So it's not, some crackpots on here just talking. This has been out forever, but it's up to the listeners, up to the person to do your research and start off small with meditation. Start off small with practicing yoga and see how you are able to connect with yourself, even prayer. Using manifestation, using affirmations, energy is the one thing. If I had to leave the audience with anything, and I know we got some more to talk about, but energy, we are made of energy, spirits. We're made of light and sound, and energy is manipulated and used in a number of different ways. And while we are in these bodies, while we're here incarnated, God created us, absolutely, but He did not create us and just put us here without giving us the ability to do things. We only use a small percentage of our brains anyway. So scientists have figured out that even doing some of the channeling sessions that people have or out of body experiences that people have, and they've been hooked up to these machines, you can see an increase in brain activity. More of the brain is being used while people are experiencing these different modalities, while they're experiencing the out-of-body experience. Most of the time, people experience that if it's a near-death experience, but you can actually experience those things. It could be self-induced. So we just have to look at things with an open mind. You don't have to believe it, absolutely not. But there are things in spirituality that help you answer some questions that you may not have gotten while attending church.
I'm going to take you back into the mists of time. We're going to go back 200 years. There are two men standing on a street corner, and one of them says, I had a vision yesterday that there's this box that I have, and I turn a dial that's on the box, and I hear music. I don't know where the music's coming from, but I hear music when I turn the dial on this box. And his friend said, "Man, you're crazy. You are absolutely nuts. There's a box like that in every car in the United States. It's called your radio."
Mm-hmm.
And it is and I would also defy you to tell me the last time you saw a radio wave, which is energy. It's the same concept as anything else, is that it's basically basic energy. And just because we can't see it doesn't mean it ain't so. So, Jason, thank you so much. We've got another segment to do, but I got to take a quick break here. And we're talking with Jason Medlock. Go to his website, which is jasonmedlock.com, and find out all about him. And you can work with him, buy his book, all the things that you may be called to do, you can do at that website. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio right here on KKNW 1150 AM, and we'll be 1150 AM, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Thank you to our dedicated fans. We are updating our live on-air schedule to make it super easy for you to hang out with us 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and live on Fridays with Kixie 880 AM Seattle Live. You can find our library to binge all the podcast platforms. We can't wait to see you at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, starting September 4th, Labor Day 2023.
Hello, everybody. If I could have your attention, please, I have an important announcement to make just for you. As you may know, PTR is heard and seen on radio, KKNW, and now Kixie, several websites, podcasts, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and most social media. At PTR, we believe in working together to make the world a better place, and because you're listening, we know that you're dedicated to the same. So we'd like to support your efforts by offering an outstanding multimedia package for you at a deeply discounted rate. As our partner, you'll receive commercial creation, both video and audio, at least 10 commercial plays per week, a monthly show to highlight your business and passion, exclusive website positioning with links, video shorts for social media, commercial plays on all shows, podcasts, KKNW, and Kixie. Your commercial is embedded into each episode and as a podcast is sent to over 50 different platforms. All shows are performed live and sent to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter and stay there forever. Your podcast episodes are provided to you to use as you see fit. This one-time offer is only $250 a week based on a 13-week commitment, and as our partner, we are vested in your success and will do everything in our power to make it happen. However, there are limited spots available, so don't hesitate. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro, and let's get the ball rolling.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal. anaturaldesign.com at your fingertips today.
Hey there, I would personally like to thank you for making Positive Talk Radio part of your day. Whether you like podcasts or the radio show, we're glad to have you along. I'd love to hear from you with thoughts about the show and ways that we can make it even better. You are the reason we do these shows, because the more people we can touch, the better we can make the planet and our time here just magnificent. Please contact me, Kevin, at kmmedia.pro with any thoughts, comments, or suggestions, and thank you for being in my dream. And welcome back, everybody, to Positive Talk Radio. My name is Kevin McDonald, but that's not important. The important one is Jason Medlock is over there. And by the way, what did you think of my radio analogy?
I loved it, and we cannot see radio waves and frequencies. We cannot see energy. They're in a different light spectrum, and we can only see in a slither of the light spectrum. And there are so many other different spectrums that are out there to see. We don't see it, but yet and still, Kevin, like you said, we drive in our cars and we press a button and the radio is on. And no one really takes the time to reflect on how. But I love that analogy. I love it.
Well, and see, I consider the work that you do with the hypnosis work that you do and the mindfulness work and the different things, the different modalities that you use. I think in 200 years from now, it will be, it's more mainstream now than it's ever been. I think it will be a matter of fact, not a matter of conjecture. I think that there'll be scientific proof and evidence that tells us that the work that you do with the energy and to help people live life a little bit better is actually real and is there, and they'll be able to prove it. What do you think?
It'll be everyday, common, just like we're speaking. We will be able to communicate using telepathy. If we want to talk, we can talk. Hypnosis will be just something that, it's just like going to the doctor to get a checkup. All these different things, if we want to leave our body and have an out-of-body experience, we can go to a different dimension. We can go to a different place, just using our energy body, because we will know then that there are a lot of things that the human body can do. But you have to ask yourself, why don't we know those things now? Remember I talked about the construct of this planet that we live on. All the noise, all the politics, all the wars and the fighting. There's so many different distractions that it keeps us really from understanding how powerful we are as human beings. We are so powerful, and harnessing this ability, harnessing what we have from within, you can see it in technology. You can see the technology, Facebook, all the social media platforms that connect one another. We're networked like that as humans already in the ether, using these levels of frequency. We connect to different people. So you can see some of the technology that humans have that we really don't pay attention to, that is being used by a lot of the major advertisers. They're using all of these different ads that send subliminal messages that help shift the mindset, and it helps shift the brainwave state. Well, hypnosis can do that. I can move you from alpha to beta to theta. I can move you to different levels of brainwave states, but commercials can too, using the technology that humans possess. And all the studies done by all the scientists and the doctors all over the world for the past, however many years, have been compiled. And behind the scenes, they've been studying the human being and integrating our natural abilities into technology.
Is that why one time I was cruising through Amazon and I was looking at a particular thing? It was a piece of electronics that I was looking to buy. And then I went on to Facebook, and lo and behold, that piece of electronics was in an ad on my Facebook feed. And it's like, my, what a coincidence. No, they have the technology of being able to determine what it is you're looking at, and which is one of the things we have to be careful of. AI is another one, but AI can be used for really good things as well. And so we're just getting started with all of this, but when you get back down to the real basics of it, just living your life to the best degree that you can, it starts with you as an individual, because you are extremely powerful and you can make those changes.
So real quick, Kevin, you actually come in contact with an old high school buddy. You guys see each other at the grocery store, and you see him from a distance, and you're like, oh, there's John. I haven't seen him in years. The closer you get to him, and then he starts to talk, you can feel like, oh, what's wrong with John? Not that John said anything wrong, but you can feel his vibration, his frequency. The same goes for going to these social media sites. They call it algorithms, but there's more to it. Looking at something and your frequency is emitting. There's technology out there that's sensing or reading exactly what you're feeling about this product, and you begin to get it over and over. They're mixing it in with the algorithms, but I believe that there's still other technology that the big advertisers have that can sense exactly what you're going to be looking at next, or stay within that area of things that you like. People out there, just take a survey. You can almost tell if you like a person or not before they open their mouth, because you can feel their energy. It's something to that, and especially if you're very intuitive. And intuitive means that you're very aware of what's around you and other people, and you can feel their energy. So ponder on that one as well.
Well, and the thing about energy and being psychic and being a medium and all this, I got to tell you, Jason, I've interviewed thousands of people, and a lot of them have been psychic mediums and have got intuition. I firmly believe that we all have intuition if we're open to it, to know what it is when it appears before us. A message, when you're leaving your house and you are, and your phone is on your desk, and you hear, oh, you better take your phone. Well, that is a message from somewhere saying,
Yes.
don't forget your phone, because you might need it, because you don't have a car phone, or that is how people contact you. So it's important to pay attention. And that's what you do, is you bring people to their mindfulness. When they work with you, how do you accomplish this?
Well, it's about helping people start to feel. And when you don't allow yourself to feel your emotions, it's hard for you to practice mindfulness, and it's hard for you to develop your intuitive abilities. Being able to feel, understanding that Kevin's not having a good day. Hey, Kevin, I need you to do, well, yeah, I'm just trying my best. Well, Kevin, you need to do it now. Well, if you practice just regular feelings, you would know, hey, Kevin, you sound like something's going on. Are you okay? And when we practice how to feel, that's the first step. And then secondly, after you can have opened yourself up, because most men, we're taught to be tough and rugged and manly. And it's harder for men than it is for women to be able to develop their intuitive abilities. But once you can develop the sense of recognizing your feelings, then the intuitiveness starts with you really practicing mindfulness over and over, just recognizing things around you. If I have a client that I'm trying to really, and let's say a business client, trying to really get his intuitive abilities up so that he can sense things that are going wrong with the business. We're going to start with just meditation, self-realization, me asking questions about the business and about him, because most of the time we carry blockages, whether it's childhood trauma, whether it's daddy or mama drama, whether there's things that money blockages. We can have money blockages as well. People will wonder why money is not coming to them. We can have blockages with money. If you grew up and every time you wanted that pair of sneakers, or you wanted to eat out at McDonald's, we don't have no money for that, or those tennis shoes are too high. You're developing money blockages all through life. I've had grown-ups come to me and they can't get past a certain amount of money a year, and they can't fathom making 6 digits a year. Like, man, that's a lot of money. And it is, because they have blockages, whether it be with money, whether it be with success. So we try to pinpoint that just by questioning, smart questioning. Coaches do that. And we ask series of questions like, what was money like growing up in your household? Was money talked about in a negative way or a positive way? How did your parents talk to you when they said no, when it dealt with, can you have something or not? Was it dealing with money? And you can flip that to a number of different topics, but we pick and we prod to figure out where the blockages are. And once we figure out where the blockages are, then we attack them. Well, I'm sorry, before that, we help the client self-realize that, okay, you see where it is. Why do you think that is? And asking a series of questions along that line to help them self-realize the problem. Once they say, man, oh my God, that's it. That's why I can't. Okay, now you've accepted the fact that you have a blockage in this area. So now we will try to create new neural pathways in your mind. That means creating new function in your brain that will allow you to learn new things. And we will remove the old things using hypnosis. So I'll use hypnosis, and quantum healing hypnosis. That's another topic. But clinical hypnosis, use hypnosis to constantly reprogram that particular area. And once I can get the client to continue to believe and to remove that blockage and to accept that it's gone, and it's all about accepting. It's all about saying enough is enough. That's how I'm able to build intuitiveness. That's how I'm able to build confidence. That's how I'm able to help a person change their mindset, because always the mind, we all have a lot of skills that we can use to do great things in the world, but it's how we think. It's simply how we think. So to answer your question, there are a few steps to increase your intuitiveness, and it all starts with realizing the blockages that you have, and also releasing this this guard that you have around your life, and start to allow yourself to feel.
I love that. And by the way, again, and Jason, I need a longer show.
Yes,
Because I'm
sir.
gonna run out of time again.
You got to bring me back. Have me a fixture on here.
Well, you are coming back. You don't know it yet. Well, maybe you
Right.
do. You're intuitive. So you are coming back. But I want to make sure that we get your website out again. Jason Medlock, that's MEDLOCK.com, so that you can go get his book and you can perhaps work with him. He does all kinds of hypnosis from there's a whole long list. I'm not going to go through it, but you can do that. Jason, I want to thank you for being here with me today on Positive Talk Radio. Unfortunately, we've got to go, but you've got 10 seconds. Say whatever you like.
Hey, we're doing our book launch tomorrow, www.jasonmedlock.com. Also, your Amazon retailer, or anywhere you can go and purchase the book. The biggest thing about a new artist that's coming out, we want your feedback. Don't just buy the book and read it. We need your feedback. So wherever you buy it from, just give feedback. And yeah, hypnosis. We didn't talk about quantum healing hypnosis. The next time I come on, quantum healing hypnosis is the most beautiful form of hypnosis. So I'll leave it at that.
That wasn't 10 seconds. But anyway, we got to go. And we'll see you on Friday. No, actually, we'll see you on Wednesday. Be kind to one another because each other's all we got. We'll see you Wednesday at 4.